Welcome to another installment of Movies with Matt. I'm your host, Matt Trello, and here's the show where we talk about movies and... yeah, that's about it, movies. Today's our season finale, and we got a special treat for you today. What are we talking about? Well, one of the very rare franchises that's based off an original IP. This is Universal's big money machine that's not Jurassic Park, Fast and Furious. And joining me today are two very special guests. Please welcome Taha and Jaden. How you guys doing?
Jaden and Taha. But yeah, the best one comes last. But I'm doing good.
It's a little backwards.
Is it though? It's the best for last, you know? Yeah.
Alright, so we're talking about Fast and Furious today. So what are your guys' first experiences with Fast and Furious?
I guess I'm okay. The first movie I watched was actually Too Fast, Too Furious. That was honestly my favorite movie for pretty much all my childhood. The amount of times that I watched that was actually insane. But I didn't watch the original one until years after that. So honestly, Too Fast, Too Furious is probably my favorite one to this day.
The first Fast and Furious movie I saw was Tokyo Drift. I saw that when I was really young. I forgot how old I was. I was no older than I don't even think I was 10 years old yet. But but my favorite Fast and Furious movie was definitely Fast 5 because that's the one that got me hooked into the franchise. After I watched Fast 5, that's when I started watching every other movie as it came out. So Fast 5. And that's the movie that The Rock debuted in. So
I could have been without that.
Watch your mouth.
Well, I guess my first experience with Fast and Furious was, if I remember correctly, I heard Furious 7 came out, and I decided to watch the movie. I don't remember specifically when I started first watching them. But I remember I wasn't a huge fan of Fast and the Furious, when I first watched it, with the exception of the 5th one and the 7th one, I liked those. And then before 9 came out, I actually rewatched all of them. And I really loved a lot of the movies much more. 6 especially. 6 was a weird one, because 6, I hated when I first watched it. I don't know why. I think I watched the TV edited version, that's why.
Yeah.
I feel like 6 nerfed too many of the characters.
On God.
Yeah.
Giselle alone.
She was just I never really liked her.
I felt like she had so much potential. And I'm
not a big fan of the actress that played her, that's why.
What? Stop playing. Nah.
Yeah, I don't want to get political.
We should let you guys know, spoilers ahead for all the Fast and Furious movies.
He says that after. He mentioned Giselle dying and everyone else dying in the 6th one.
Whoa, I didn't say she died.
Yeah, you
Spoiler.
did. No, I said they nerfed a whole bunch of characters. You Giselle alone was great. Come on. Our viewers aren't stupid.
6, I think, was really cool, that opening song.
That's still one of my favorite songs.
That's
Wiz Khalifa, 2 Chainz.
That's the song.
How'd that song go?
Is
One
We Own It.
Shot,
Oh yeah, everything rides on tonight.
Yeah,
Even if I got 3 strikes, I'ma go for it. This moment, we own it.
Hey, that's fire, bro. That's fire.
I like because it gets you hyped for the movie you're about to see.
We should start a band. Taha and Friends.
Yeah.
Yeah. That'd be a fire band, right? You with me, right? Give me
Yeah. But I think the first 4 Fast and Furious movies, it wasn't really till 5 when they started to reinvent the franchise, and that's really when the franchise became the mega house it is today. It's after Fast 5, Universal was oh, we got a franchise. Because the first 4 really try to level it to just street racing.
I like that aspect though.
Yeah,
Maybe
but
the first one's more grounded. Obviously, they're not jumping out of
But I think
planes and stuff.
I'm sorry. But
go ahead.
we just interrupt each other. But I think the first 4, I think it's so grounded in reality that I think to make a franchise out of, a big Hollywood franchise out of that, is just not enough. So I think that's why they started to do heists and big action set pieces, and ever since 8 they started doing more of the spy angle. And of course 5 had one actor in particular that brought the whole franchise to its knees, Dwayne The Rock Johnson as Hobbs.
Should have recasted.
You got 2 strikes.
I might use all of them.
Listen, you won't leave with a couple less limbs than you walked in here with.
I can just bust out my cast like
Oh,
Dwayne Johnson.
Exactly.
Well, I think those are the movies that made like The Rock a complete superstar. Like before then, he had his like few movies like Race to Witch Mountain, The Game Plan,
Fire
the
movies.
2009 masterpiece Tooth Fairy, and let's not forget Planet 51.
And G.I. Joe, come on.
Yeah, G.I. Joe. But like Fast
He
Five,
was
like
in G.I. Joe.
What?
That's
G.I. Joe
insane.
and Fast and Furious 5, or Fast 5, are the 2 movies that, like, propelled him.
The only thing I remember from G.I. Joe is Marlon Wayans.
You remember him over The Rock?
Yeah, I think he's a good actor.
but like
The Rock's
I feel like 5 through 7 were like the peak of the franchise, in my opinion.
I feel like you gotta start at 4 with that, because I feel like without 4, none of the rest of them would have been
Yeah,
possible.
four lays down the groundwork.
I agree in the sense that there should be one more movie added to that list, but I don't think it's 4. I think from 5 to 8 is the peak, because 5 to 8 was like the main cast, like everybody was there with the exception of Paul Walker for 8. Everyone was there. When it comes to like overall quality and ensembleness of the franchise, 9 doesn't really have that feeling, and neither does pre Fast 5.
That's funny you say it, because I really love F9.
I hated it. I thought it was the worst Fast and Furious movie.
Because I think one of the keys for Fast and Furious franchise, how it's been able to stay as long as it did, I think is the director of a lot of the movies, Justin Lin. He did a movie a long time ago called Better Luck Tomorrow. Very great movie.
That was the Han was in that, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
actually that's where Han originated, and then he brought him back when he did Tokyo Drift.
Right.
And I think and he went on to direct 4, 5, 6. I think there was like contract problems with 7, where he was busy doing something else. Oh, he was doing Star Trek Beyond. That was it.
Oh yeah. I forgot he
AKA
did that.
Star Trek Beyond, underrated movie. Check it
Was
out.
The Rock in it?
No. So they got James Wan, who everyone knows from like Saw, The Conjuring, Insidious. He also did Aquaman.
My thing though is that, like, I have my grievances about 9. I feel like, so I'm thinking about whether or not I should say what I like first, or whether I should say I dislike.
You can say whatever you like first.
Okay, so I liked John Cena's performance. I thought he did really good. I don't mind that they brought Han back. I just feel like the reasoning for bringing Han back, like the way that they explained it, was really stupid. I feel like they could have done a better job on that. I feel like the inclusion of the girl that Han's trying to save was completely unnecessary. I feel like John Cena didn't have to be Dom's brother, but I don't mind it. What else didn't I like about the movie? It was such a forgettable movie.
I think it
word.
would have been
Um,
funnier if they were just stepbrothers, because I think by making them biological brothers, it made it a little weirder.
No, cause it makes, like, it didn't like not make sense. Like I can't explain. He's laughing. I can't really explain it. Like I can see John Cena playing Vin Diesel's younger brother. Like I liked their whole backstory. I love the scenes with the flashback where they're young and they're street
Right.
racing. Like I thought it was nice to go back to the roots. The scene where Ludacris and Tyrese went to space was ridiculous.
Right.
That was the most stupid scene ever.
Which is funny because Ludacris and Tyrese are my favorite parts of the film. of the
They're
movies.
funny, but they didn't need to go to space. I like the fact that they brought back the Tokyo Drift characters. I liked the again that they brought it back to street racing. What I didn't like was that they didn't bring back Mr. Nobody. Is that his name?
Oh,
Kurt-
Kurt Russell.
Kurt
yeah,
Russell.
Kurt Russell. Yeah.
I think Kurt Russell was in F9. He was a spirited flashbacks.
Right. No, but I'm saying like they didn't bring back the guy that was in Fate of the Furious that was with the team on behalf of Mr. Nobody?
Oh, the white dude.
The white dude.
Yeah.
Oh, the one that was supposed to replace Paul Walker.
Yeah.
Yeah, I really liked him in Fate of the Furious.
Was that Scott Eastwood? Like Clint Eastwood's son?
Yeah, like, I don't know why they didn't bring him back. I really enjoyed his scenes in Fate of the Furious.
Well, I think for me, the franchise, like you can clearly tell after 7, there was a little bit of weirdness after, because of course 7 is most known for being the last movie Paul Walker did.
Right.
He filmed like a good chunk of the movie before he tragically died from the car crash, and they literally like rewrote some of the movie to like make it his last film, and they had his brothers come in. They did like CG trickery,
Right.
and I think I have a little bit of a reservation with when they try to recreate actors with CGI. I think it's a little, especially like dead ones, because I feel like that's sort of like that's playing around with ethics a little bit.
I agree with you, but
But I think Furious 7 did it the best.
they definitely did. But I feel like in this particular case, it's okay
Yeah,
because, like, ethics-wise, because his family wants his legacy to continue through that, like his mom and his brothers. So, like, if his family doesn't care, then I don't really see what the problem
Right,
is.
because his brothers are the ones that
yeah.
are doing
That's
Yeah.
why I said Furious 7 is like
and
one of the ones
they're also doing it again in the next two movies.
that
No word.
that I'm kind of
Yeah.
a little iffy about,
it. Oh, I didn't even know that.
because I feel like that sort of missed the point of like 7 being his last.
But the
movie.
send off, like at the end when they like went the separate ways.
That's like
yeah, no, I understand, but like
that's like if
it's the finale, so you
Mhm.
want every character that you can bring possible.
yeah, but to me that's like sort of like if when they do eventually Avengers Secret Wars, if they just brought back Robert Downey Jr. and Chris Evans, because I feel like just bring them back just sort of misses the point of their ending in Endgame.
I understand that, but if you bring him back for just a few minutes, I don't see what's wrong with it. Like if you bring Paul Walker back for, or Brian back for like the last act of the next movie, I don't really see the problem. Like, to use a show as an example, The Office. Like Steve Carell had his send off in the end of like season 7, and then season 9 during the last episode they brought Steve Carell back for like a couple
Like a
of
scene,
scenes.
yeah.
Yeah, like for 2 or
Yeah,
3
one
scenes.
line.
Yeah, he had like one or 2 lines and combined like 3 or 4 scenes. That didn't take away from his send off, but it gave the fan base closure on the fact that they got to close it off with everybody. So I feel like if they bring back Paul Walker, then I don't mind it.
I think it's a little weirder because he is dead.
Mhm.
Like that makes sense because like Steve Carell's character is still alive around.
Yeah, but Paul Walker's character is still alive.
I like what they did at the end of F9 though. Like when they had the skyline like pull into the driveway.
Yeah,
'cause
that
you
that
knew
I
it
felt was
him.
that I feel like there's like I think it's more of how egregious they do it. Like if they do like sort of like a subtle way of like being like he's still around, he's fine. Like that's fine, but like if they make him like a whole like pitiful titular character, then I'm like, oh, okay, like come on.
I think in the finale in the next 2 movies, they're gonna have Paul Walker's character be in there, but he's not gonna be like front and center like how it was when he was actually here.
All right, yeah, that makes sense.
I think he's gonna be like a guy that has like 1 or 2 lines each scene.
Guy in the chair type.
Not guy in the chair, because I think he is gonna be like out there doing the heists and stuff with them, but I just don't think that he's gonna be like the guy that the camera's on the whole time. You know?
Also, going back to what I remember earlier, you were saying you like 8. I know you said you don't like a 9. I don't like 8.
Oh really? What
'Cause
don't you like about it?
I feel like, first of all, like I don't like the whole Vin Diesel turns against the family thing. Like it feels like it's one of those things where it feels like very much like a marketing gimmick. Like literally the same year Transformers: The Last Night literally did the same thing, where it's like, this main character whose whole thing is they care about their friends and family. Like, oh, now they're turning evil. They're turning against. When you know it's like, all right, we know they're gonna turn, which isn't a bad story in itself, but I feel like
If it's handled well.
but I feel like it's a little bit too predictable in my opinion. especially with a character that's whole thing is family.
Right.
Like but I do like how Fate of the Furious did like sort of like he wouldn't just betray the family for no reason.
Right.
He did have a reason. It was a weird reason. It was a weird retcon, but like it was a reason. I'm not gonna get mad at that.
Can we talk about the villain though?
Oh yeah, Charlize Thornton as Cypher.
Yes, Cypher is probably the best Fast and Furious villain.
I still say it was Jason Statham in the 7 movie.
I feel like
Go ahead.
Hobbs and Shaw kind of like undid everything for that movie.
Yeah. So like, that's literally what I was about to say. Like the fact that Jason Statham was only a problem for them for one movie, and then he joined the team.
Yeah, that was my other problem with 8. I feel like because like as far as they knew before 9,
He killed Han.
Right. And they didn't know he was still alive at that point either.
Like, bro, what? Imagine if somebody kills Matt and then me and Jaden have smoke with him for like 2 weeks,
and then we kicking
he
it with him.
becomes the host. Like, that's crazy.
Oh my god.
But I don't mind. But like, don't have him kill Han if you knew he was just gonna become part of the team.
Right.
And another problem I had with the movie was I feel like it was a little bit too Hobbs and Shaw centric in my opinion.
Fate of the Furious.
Yeah.
I liked it because The Rock had the most screen time in it.
Which is funny. 'cause
Pipe down a
I think
little
he had the best screen time in 5 through 7, but like once it got to like 8, I was like, all right, that's a little bit.
No, 7. He had like a combined 6 minutes of screen time in 7. Because if you remember, he had the one scene in the beginning where he ended up in the hospital, in like the first scene. Then you didn't see him again until like
the finale.
the finale.
Yeah.
You know, Fast 5 he had a decent amount of screen time. Fast 6 around the same decent amount, but Fast 8, Fate of the Furious, was the one where like it felt like all the minutes of screen time that Paul Walker like left behind, The Rock picked up on top of the time that Hobbs had already had.
Plus, like, Fate of the Furious was a weird time because like this was literally because it felt like 7 was like the perfect ending, but then Universal saw how much money it made because they made like $1 billion.
Yeah.
It was like
It's like top 10 highest grossing movies. of all
yeah,
time.
like it was really like surprisingly successful, and like Universal like oh another one, we gotta make another one. I feel like it was a little bit too rushed in my opinion.
Was it? I mean, there was a 3-year gap in between.
No, it was 2017.
I thought it was 2018.
No.
Oh, okay.
I feel like maybe with a little more time. Plus, like I feel like they were still fresh off losing Paul Walker, so I feel like that was just not the right time to like
Yeah.
do another one.
Mhm.
And that's when the whole Vin Diesel Rock drama started,
Mhm.
which
Well, we know who's in the wrong for that one.
actually I agree.
The Rock, right?
Like I don't.
I know.
I'm not the biggest fan.
The guy that ran the director off set.
Yeah, I'm not the biggest fan of The Rock. Like he has his good moments. I'm not gonna act like he doesn't.
Relax. Tread lightly.
But like, I would take The Rock over Vin because Vin Diesel. I'm like, what are you doing, man?
That's why I like him.
I don't
Say something. I'll
know.
bust him glasses.
Because like the dude literally like on Instagram like was telling The Rock, "Hey, come back, join our."
Yeah,
fam."
that's Hall of Fame gaslighting. That is Hall of Fame
And even-
gaslighting.
and even
from
for
Vin
someone-
Diesel.
And like, look, The Rock has an ego, but even he realizes like that's too much ego even for me.
Yeah.
Who would win in a fight though?
Bro, what?
Probably The Rock.
Come on, man.
Oh,
The
I
man
don't know.
carries a gym with him everywhere he goes.
He'll probably
He will
Oh.
beat the brakes off a group, bro.
he'll probably
Not Groot.
he'll probably pull a Black Adam on Vin Diesel.
Come on, bro. Vin Diesel is like, how tall is Vin Diesel, bro?
He got that power.
Who?
Vin Diesel.
What power? You seen?
Don't
Does
test
Vin
it.
Diesel have abs, bro? Now, if we talking,
I mean, to be fair, the Vin Diesel was the Iron Giant.
but Vin Diesel was also the spy babysitter. What was that movie called?
Pacifier.
Pacifier, bro.
That show was hot.
Come on, bro. Like Tooth Fairy over Pacifier any day.
But at least Vin Diesel wasn't in a Skyscraper.
We don't talk about that movie. The Rock was in San Andreas. He was in Journey to
forgot
the
that
Mysterious
movie.
Island. He was in what's that movie? The Other Guys. He was in
He wasn't up, guys.
yeah. I have a story about that, but that's for another time.
Whenever we do an Adam McKay episode, we'll talk about the other guys.
Man, I have a lot to say about that movie. But yeah. Go ahead, bro. Take the
So, to wrap this up slightly, like, what do you guys think is your overall opinions on each individual movie, and how would you rank them? Like, very quickly.
Very quickly, I'll go from my least favorite to my favorite. Probably, I would say 9's on the bottom. 9, 8. It's not gonna work. I'm gonna start from the beginning. My favorite one, all right. Too Fast, Too Furious, Fast and Furious, the fourth one. Fast 5, Furious 6, the original, 7, 8, 9.
That's a lot.
You're not counting Hobbs and Shaw in this?
I guess not. No,
All right, so
I'll count Hobbs and Shaw in mine.
because
I didn't really enjoy that one.
I would say Hobbs and Shaw is the worst one.
I feel like if they had,
I'm gonna bust this chair up right now.
nah, if
bro.
they didn't make it like a Fast and Furious franchise movie,
Give me
I feel like it
something to
would be. You got it, bro.
All right, we're not counting Hobbs and Shaw on the list.
Yes, we are. Hobbs and
all right.
Okay, Hobbs and Shaw 10.
Yo, I'm about to really bust both of y'all heads in, bro.
Hobbs and Shaw is a 10 out of 10 movie.
Alright. So
Four
why
out
is
of
it so low on your list? You
Uh,
just like all the other Fast and Furious movies that much, right? Alright.
Yeah,
Alright.
yeah.
No, it's just a bad movie.
Yo, see me outside after this, bro, for real. Cause there's a whole table here. I'll really pick this up and
TLC.
see.
So what's your ranking, Tom?
Are we counting? What was that thing called? Like the short that they had?
Oh, the
Los-
interlude to.
Los Latoderos or
Oh,
whatever.
the prequel. I count that as a part. I honestly count that as a part of 4,
Okay.
which honestly the short's better.
So, I'll say, Fast 9 really might have been the worst one. Alright, I'll say Fast 9, and then I'll say, the original, Too Fast, Too Furious, Fast 4, Fast 6, Hobbs and Shaw, Fast 8, Fast 7, Fast 7, Fast 8, Fast 5.
Oh,
Yeah.
For me, I'm going from worst to best. The worst
That was
one-
worst to best.
Yeah.
The worst is.
Be careful, man.
Hobbs and Shaw.
Valid,
Excuse me.
valid.
You heard something?
I heard Hobbs and Shaw.
No, I heard something.
Then it would
It's
be.
outside.
But in terms of like the main movies, I would go 4, then 8. I guess 1, then 2, Tokyo Drift.
Oh, I forgot
No.
about Tokyo Drift.
Me too. I just realized that.
9, 6, 7, 5. That's my ranking.
Alright.
I feel like 4 gotta be more up there for both of y'all.
Well, the problem is for me, 4 is just way too mellow. Like
4 doesn't have the rock
It's-
in it.
4 is just way
Exactly.
too melodramatic for its own good.
4 almost killed the franchise.
Nah.
Yeah.
That's what brought it back in my opinion.
What? No. Fast
They
5
was
brought
done.
the
They
product
was done after 3.
4 is where like the seeds started to grow, but like they weren't fully realized. 5 is when it was fully like we
Right.
know what to
The
do.
flower blossomed. and
Right.
It was a rock.
That was like
flower.
their piped out a little bit.
It
No,
was a
Fast
rock
5
size
was like
flower.
their like, in my opinion, they're like Avengers. But
It was actually a year before Avengers.
yeah, but like,
Honestly, hot take. I think Fast 5 is better than the Avengers.
Yeah.
Fa-
Then the first Avengers?
the first.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's definitely better than the second Avengers, but
Well, that's
That's
not
valid.
easy to
yeah.
do.
My God.
So,
That is a sight to see.
any final thoughts on the franchise?
The franchise was dying before The Rock. The franchise is going to die after The Rock.
You guys excited for 10 and 11?
I am excited for
I'm excited
10
to see
part
how
1
it
and
wraps
10
up.
part 2, which
10 part 2.
It's-
yeah,
that's
that's,
a
that's
weird
what it's
name.
called.
Oh, I'm
Um,
sad that Vin Diesel made Justin Lin leave the project.
I am sad that I won't get to see The Rock and John Cena on the big screen together.
That would have been valid, yeah.
Maybe they'll make Hobbs and Shaw too, and they can do that.
I hope I know for a fact that The Rock's not going to be in Fast X Part 1, but I don't know how far Fast X Part 2 is in development. I hope he's in the last one.
Don't worry, The Rock's probably working on Black Adam 2 right now.
I'd rather see him in Fast.
Actually, that's better. I would rather see him there than
You know, no slide on Black Adam.
Black Adam
it was a
2 is
tough
just
movie.
going to be a
But yeah.
weird one.
So
That's about it. Thank you guys for joining this episode.
you're welcome. Now let's end it off with everyone saying that The Rock is the best actor in Hollywood. 3, 2, 1. The Rock is the best actor in Hollywood.
Sort of the best actor in Hollywood.
Hey, thanks for a great season of movies with